that the COVID cases yesterday were almost intentional. You know what I mean?
Exploiting the loophole.
Yeah,
John McMullen. Leave it to John McMullen to find the loophole.
Conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. I love it.
Well, it's that's actually smart though. It
when
is. You think about it.
JAKIB Media YouTube channel. 9,600 some odd subscribers and climbing by the minute, Barrett. We got to get to 10,000 before the end of the regular season. That's my goal.
Yes, sir.
At least. And we appreciate each and every one of you. Smash that like button. We got a lot to talk about yesterday. There was a lot of views of yesterday's full show that I noticed. A lot more than I've normally been seeing. So people are really dialing in on this Eagles team now that they have qualified for the playoffs and overachieved in many respects for this 2021 season. But now we find out that there's 12 players on the COVID list and a lot of starters. And we were kind of thinking that we probably wouldn't see much of the starters, if at all, or some of the starters at all in this finale on Saturday night against Dallas, because there's not a whole lot to be gained. And, if you can snag a bye week late, going into the playoffs, it probably will benefit you, at least in that first round. So, I think this kind of seals it, that we're going to be missing a lot of starters. Even though a lot of these guys can clear prior to game time, I still think we're going to be down a lot of starters on Saturday night.
Well, guys like Jason Kelce, he's going to want to play. But he needs to sit his butt down, bro.
I know. They might need to chain him
You're right.
Into the locker room, really.
Yeah, just go sit down somewhere, man. Go sit in the corner. Come join me on in Eagles pre and post game show. Put you in the corner, man.
There you go.
Boston Scott, Jordan Howard, Fletcher Cox. I knew he wasn't gonna play anyways.
Right.
Jannard Avery, he needs to play. Alex Singles needs to play. Marcus Epps needs to play. Rodney McLeod, he can sit down somewhere. Even Avonte Maddox can sit down somewhere. Of course, Jack Stoll and Dallas Goedert are on the list.
Right. Herbig, your boy Herbig.
Herbig, he needs to play, but this is one of those games where they don't necessarily need to play him. So I guess just makes the job easier for the head coach to make the decision. It kind of simplifies things. Looking at, as they go forward, hell, maybe they need to go sit Jalen Hurts in there with those COVID guys, so he can catch it. So, we don't have to worry about him throughout the playoffs.
Right. See, that's the thing here. And this is what I've been finding out is these Monday spikes, if you will, in these COVID numbers now is somewhat intentional. Because because these starters, these players now that are going to go into the playoffs, like if they want to play the following week, they've now volunteer, even if they're not feeling, symptomatic or whatever, they can volunteer to get tested. And if they test positive, it's really no big deal because they have 5 days now to clear the list. And get back on the active list prior to the coming week's game. And therefore, once they tested positive, they cannot be tested then for 90 days, which takes you beyond the Super Bowl anyway. If you're a team going into the playoffs, you're clear.
So it'd behoove like some of these quarterbacks that, in the playoffs to go ahead and catch it now. And I'm definitely not, advocating it or anything like that, but I'm just saying, just being in a position where you're not going to be tested for the next 90 days.
That's huge.
It's huge, man. You don't have to worry about it. Right. You don't have to worry about what Minnesota just went through. Yeah. Minnesota didn't have a starting quarterback in a game that really put them in or took them out the playoffs. So, at this point, they lost because they didn't have their guy. Kirk Cousins would have gave them at least an opportunity to win the game. Right. They didn't have a snowball's chance in hell without him. No. So they're out of the playoffs now. They will be out of the playoffs now.
Right, and they probably have a coaching change.
Right.
I would expect a lot of change up in Minnesota. No, but you make a great point. Like if you're one of these starting quarterbacks, like you brought up, Jalen Hurts. Like we haven't heard Jalen Hurts, testing positive about anything as of yet, at least not to my knowledge. So if he did test positive, and let's say they play Minshew anyway on Saturday night, he clears the protocol 5 days later because he's vaccinated, then he's good to go, and you don't have to worry about something happening for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and he wasn't probably going to play anyways this week.
This week, yeah.
You saw in this last game, he ran a little more. He was a little more explosive. His cuts were better. He ran. The previous game against the Giants, he really only ran twice.
Reluctantly, yeah. What did he have? 7 rushes, I think, the other night.
Right. Yeah. So he looked like more of an impact player.
Right.
In this last game,
that's kind of like where I want him too. 7 or 8 rushes. Run when you need to. Maybe in 1 or 2 designed runs. When it looks good against whatever defense you're facing at the line of scrimmage. But 7 or 8 runs, I'm good with. But he looked a lot better.
Right, a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Reading the private chat from Xander, McMullen kind of suggested that the COVID cases yesterday were almost intentional. You know what I
mean? Exploiting the loophole.
Yeah,
John McMullen. Leave it to John McMullen to find the loophole.
Conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. I love it.
It's that's actually smart though. When you think about it. At this point, where they're not worrying about that. Dallas is going to play their starters. We don't care. Yeah. We're not playing Dallas.
Dallas is coming here to win, according to the coach.
Right.
He's talking tough.
Right. But hey, man.
Hey. Wouldn't it be great if Minshew and some backups beat them anyway?
Well,
that would be
poetic justice.
I would take more pleasure in that than Jalen Hurts going out there and beating them, to be honest with you. Let's go with
hold on a second, Harry. What's going on with Joey B, man?
What?
Let's figure out something's going on with Joey B, man. Let's figure out what's going on, man. I gotta look at the stream, man, and check them out. It's a good morning stream. Good morning, Harry and Barrett. Returning from vacation after 2 weeks in the Caribbean. And Colorado looks like a war zone. What? What happened?
I have no idea.
What happened, man? Joey B, let us know what's going on.
20 miles away, coworkers, extended family lost their, I guess, fires.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's terrible.
Oh, okay, man.
Yeah. That seems to happen in that area in California and some of those other western areas. Like
dry, man. It's very dry out
basis.
There. Yeah. It's dry out there. Sorry to hear that, Joey B.
Yeah, way to change the mood on the show there, Joey B. Jeez. My goodness. Can you drop that on us at like maybe 12:50 instead of 11:10? We hope everybody's okay. Joey B's okay. He's in the Caribbean. But anyway, back to the football, Barrett.
Yeah, let's get back.
Dallas is coming here to win, according to the coach. Now, what do you think about that?
They have to come in and win. They want to stay hot going into this playoffs. They went in a couple of years ago when was it Dak and Zeke's first year, their rookie year. They sat everybody. And they ended up losing. They weren't hot.
Right.
I think they're kind of thinking in that aspect that they want to go into this playoff system because this might be their final opportunity at being in full strength and being in a position to really go into the playoffs and be competitive, because over the next couple of years they won't be competitive. Please believe this, because anytime you sign a quarterback to a big deal, you can't sign other players supporting cast. And that's what the position they're in right now. That salary cap is going to be killing them next year.
Well, they got a lot of issues right now. I mean, it was evident in that game against Arizona. Some of the things came to bear. They can't run the ball effectively. I mean, if you go look back at Ezekiel Elliott, going way back to the last big game he had was against the Giants back in early October, October the 10th. Since then, he's had 134 carries for 463 yards. That's like 3.3 something a carry.
Right.
Okay. They're not running the ball well. They got some O-line issues. Dak has been inconsistent as a result of both of those other things. Their secondary, say what you want about Trayvon Diggs, who has a lot of interceptions and is going to a Pro Bowl, I believe.
Yes.
He's got 11 interceptions, and that's awesome. But he is susceptible to some things. And, offensive coordinators have watched a lot of tape, and they know how to exploit that guy with the right wide receiver and the right routes. Let's put it that way. And Anthony Brown is very beatable.
Yes. And there lies what the problem is in the secondary. You have one guy that's all world, and then after that, it's slim pickings.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Diggs, he is good.
He is.
But like Kazee, he's been getting his butt kicked. Brown has been exploited a whole lot.
Right.
You look at everybody else in that secondary are very, 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 very beatable. And they're really looking at their defensive front to really put the pressure on teams.
Right. Now that they got healthier over the last couple of weeks,
right.
They had a lot of injuries early on at that unit.
Exactly. So that's why they know Micah Parsons can rush the passer because
a lot
of their
DeMarcus
guys
Lawrence is back and
yep.
And the head coach, he's always a question mark. With time management, he does some really crazy things. Reviewing calls, throwing the red flag. I mean, he's a wild card. He really is.
Right.
And he's been exposed. Nobody's talking about, not nobody, but people aren't talking about Kellen Moore being some hot next head coach commodity right now, like they were back in September and early October. And penalties. They are number one in the league in penalties, accepted penalties. Remember when the Eagles were at the beginning of the year for the first 5 or 6 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys are number one right now with 122 accepted penalties. 26 of them are offensive holding. That's their biggest category outside of other.
You know what happens when those players get older? Guys like Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Collins, those guys, they're good, but once you start getting a little older, your feet don't, go as fast as they used to go. So now you start pulling guys back to you instead of running with them.
Clutching and grabbing.
So that's what happens, man. That's exactly what happens. And then, they lost Gallup. So now it's going to just be CeeDee Lamb and Cooper, really taking the lion's load of everything.
And I like Gallup, too. I've liked him for a year or two now. I thought he was a really good player that was kind of underutilized.
He was a deep threat, yep.
But he's a good player. And like you said, that happened this past week, I guess. He tear the ACL, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's Joey B's guy, man, from Colorado State.
Oh, Colorado State, that's right.
Yeah. So, he was their deep threat. Dalton Schultz has become a player for him, man. But when you have Dalton Schultz in there, he's not a blocking tight end. He's a pass-catching tight end.
Catcher.
So when you look at, running the ball, that's another reason why they're not as effective because Dalton Schultz is not a run-blocking type of tight end. He's one of those Zach Ertz type of players.
Right.
So, it's almost like, Zach Ertz is like an adjective. He defines what tight ends are for pass catching. You know what I'm saying? So that's a Zach Ertz. That means that's a pass catching tight end. It's not like Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert does both very, very well. You know what I mean? Kelsey does both well. Guys like that, you have to be able to run block and pass block, and Schultz is not that guy. So it's really hurting that offensive line going out there and trying to run the ball effectively.
Kittle does both well too.
Oh, Kittle's He's a monster as far as run block. He likes to do that more than pass catch.
I think he's got that offensive lineman mentality more than he does the pass catching aspect of it being a tight end. Dallas is a 7-point favorite in this game this week. And that tells you everything. That tells you that Las Vegas is like, the Eagles aren't going to play anybody.
Exactly.
And Dallas, feels they need the game. Maybe they feel they can still jump up into the second seed if they get cooperation from Los Angeles and Tampa Bay. So they're going to come here and play their starters. So they're a 7-point favorite. Wow.
Well, it looks like we're going to be playing either the Rams or Tampa Bay. More so, I say they're leaning towards Tampa Bay.
Is that right?
Because of the matchup, yeah.
Well, because they think the Rams might lose to the Niners?
Yes.
In week 18?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, you look at their coach. I mean, Shanahan has the upper hand. He's like, what, 8-0?
He's really good against McVay. Yes, he is. I don't know if he's 8-0, but he's really good against him. But the Rams are favored in that game by 5 at home.
Wow.
Just looking at the number right here. Tampa Bay, by the way, hosts Carolina, and they're favored by 8. And I saw some more development to this Antonio Brown situation. Apparently, I guess Antonio Brown was saying that he was hurt, and that's why he didn't want to go back into the game. And Bruce Arians knew nothing about it. He was asked at his press conference, day after press conference, about an injury. I wasn't aware of any injury.
He didn't look like he had an injury going in.
No, he looked pretty spry, jumping up and down in the end zone.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. And evidently, he didn't go to the doctors or the hospital afterwards either, because I guess they spotted him in at a basketball game.
Well, yeah, he was at a Brooklyn Nets game, I believe.
Yeah.
In the front row. Yeah.
And I guess Saquon Barkley's personal driver is the one that came and picked him up.
Is that right?
Yeah, and kind of chauffeured him around the next couple of days.
So Saquon has his own little Uber guy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
You know what? I mean, back in the day, man, when I was playing, bro, those are the kind of things that, players had. I couldn't afford them. You know what I'm saying? I nickel and dime the league.
Right.
But they had those type of services that people would have, to drivers, I mean, I can bro. I
got a buddy at my golf club that has a driver.
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Well, look at this.
He's banged up all the time.
I got I used to watch, the boss lady used to go to Saks, and she'd be shopping around Saks, walking around. But the high dollar wise meaning like Marvell Smith, offensive tackle, his wife, and Troy Polamalu's wife, and all those, wives would have a concierge service that when they go to Saks, they put them back in the back room with a couch, and they sit on the couch and drink mimosas while they brought all their sizes to them.
Of course.
And they tried them on and everything back in the back so they didn't have to bend it with the general public.
Yeah, and plus you get them a little lubed up on the alcohol.
Exactly.
And then they're a little freer with the credit card.
Bruh. I told Miss Brooks, yo, you better walk your butt around. You hear me? Because it's like $5,000 when you do it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what?
Right. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
To go, you can go in that dressing room yourself.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm
saying? Can try on your own stuff.
Right. Go get it yourself.
Right. Just take it off the rack, walk it to the dressing room, and get can I get
we all see it.
Yeah, we all see it. We all got it. Do you need any help, ma'am? No, I'm good.
That's crazy though, man.
That is crazy.
That's a concierge service that they have. I'm like, come on, man. I can drive myself to where I gotta go. I mean, Uber has become, what I'm saying, the ticket these days, man. But back then, personal drivers, personal chefs. Hell, I can cook. Right. I'll cook. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. My wife can cook. We're good. Okay. 91 LSXer says Harry Mertitas was your driver. He was when I had my busted up ankle.
And he'll tell you about it too.
Oh yeah, he loved it. Yeah, he'd show up.
But he said the reason he loved it because he used to come to your house and you'd have lunch ready for him, so he was good with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, those were the days. That was a long 3 months of my life.
Oh my goodness, I could only see.
Oh my God!
Hey, Hair, you up here?
Yeah.
What you doing?
As soon as the show was over, and if we didn't have any other stuff to record or a meeting to have, I'd wheel that damn scooter, out into the elevator, down, out the back entrance, and he'd come around the back entrance. I'd throw the thing in the back of his truck, hobble my way to the passenger side door, get in. He'd drive me home, do the exact same thing, and I basically would put myself in my chair. I went from one chair to the car to another chair. Like that's basically it. To do the show, then I'd go home and I'd sit in this other chair for hours. And that's when I rewatched The Sopranos.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you go in there and knock out 2 or 3 episodes of The Sopranos every day. That was my life for about 3 months.
That's the worst, man.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Having to be, I remember a year ago, probably about a year to the day, right around this time right here, I had caught COVID. So I had to sit in my room. And that was the worst 2.5 weeks of my life, bro.
2.5 weeks?
Yes.
What kind of quarantine is that?
back then we didn't know anything about it, man. Didn't know what the protocol was. You had to be there 14 days.
Oh, wow. We got our own protocols over here at my house.
What is that?
Yeah, we just wrote our own. Yeah.
All right. You don't want what you put up front of don't come by if you don't want COVID.
Exactly. Stay the hell out of here.
But look, like my kids, you know what I'm saying? My middle daughter, she, every time I open the door, she did tell you better scream, you're out. I'm like, why do I have to scream in my own house? Because I don't want to catch it. So I had to quarantine inside of my room, man.
Yeah.
Unclean.
You see what the news did to people back then? I'm telling you, it was absolute mania.
Bro, what did COVID have to do with damn toilet paper, man? You couldn't buy toilet paper.
Exactly.
You couldn't buy anything like that, man.
It was absolute
paper towels.
Lunacy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. A lot of people would say they would like to see an Antonio Brown reality show.
You know what? That'd be the next, that'd be the next big thing.
People love train wreck television.
Exactly. He would be great, amazing. And somehow they'd have to interweave him and Kanye West and the Kardashians. If you intermingle all of them together, the world would stop.
You think so?
To watch that show. Oh, yes. The world would stop. Especially for AB, man. The world would stop to watch him.
I kind of got enough of a view of him when I was watching the when he was with the Raiders.
Well, you're sane.
On the Hard Knocks.
Exactly. You're sane. Yeah, you're sane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I kind of know
the rest of the world's not sane.
I kind of know what the reality show would be. I've already seen it. You know what I mean?
What if he was like The Bachelor or something? You know what I'm saying?
Now, that is something I would never watch. If it was the only show on television.
Well, remember, Flavor Flav was on it before.
He was on The Bachelor?
Something like that. It was some type of show where Flavor Flav was.
I thought that was that rehab show, like that celebrity rehab thing.
No, this was he had a bunch of girls wanting to marry him. Remember?
Really?
Yeah. Remember? Was it Dolph Lundgren's ex-wife or whatever?
Brigitte Nielsen.
Yes, her. Yeah. She was on it.
Right.
Like, she actually really fell in love with him.
She was also on the celebrity rehab show.
Right.
Now, was it called Flavor of Love?
Flavor of Love. That's exactly what it was.
Philly Cat nailed it as as Eagle Empire.
There we go. Yep.
All right, I got to look that up. I got to look that up.
It was an absolute train wreck.
And you watched this?
No, I didn't watch it. No.
Oh, okay.
I would hear about it.
Did the boss lady watch it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right.
Of course.
And we also got to talk about your Kansas State Wildcats who are in the bowl game tonight. They're in the Texas Bowl tonight. Actually, I have
LSU.
I took them in the pool that I'm in.
And did you?
I got them at 1.5. The line is like up to 7.
Wow.
In favor of Kansas State.
Well, they don't have the coach. The coach won't be there.
No, I know. It's kind of a mess.
Right.
With what's going on with LSU. So you never know what kind of effort you're going to get out of those guys. Let me see. Flavor of Love. When did this air? There were 3 seasons of it. 2006 to 2008.
It was 2 seasons of it?
3 seasons.
Wow.
06, 07, 08.
Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yep.
That's simply ridiculous. Simply ridiculous.
I'm trying to figure out who else was. All right, here, cast.
I saw they got this new Bachelor show where they have two guys on the show. One's broke.
Well, that's Joe rich. Millionaire. That's another.
Oh, that's Joe Millionaire.
That's another trash television show.
I don't know the names of them. I will never watch them. I barely have enough time to watch all this football I've been watching.
Yeah, those shows are like porn without the sex. Yeah. All right, here's some of the cast of this show. Now, you let me know if any of these names mean anything to you. Hoops.
Yes, Hoops.
Okay.
Hoops was she was a very
Nicole Deanne Alexander, a.k.a. Hoops. She won the first season, apparently.
Yes, and he was in love with her, but she didn't want him. In fact, she then left him and went and dated Shaq.
That's exactly right. Dude, you are up on this. I know you've seen this.
I never watched it, but I knew that because of Shaq, my frat brother. You know, I was trying to see what was going on with that.
All right, what about Delicious? Chandra Davis. She won the second season.
I remember the name.
Okay.
I remember she wanted to fight everybody, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Thing 2.
What?
AKA Tresha. She
Thing
won the
2?
third season. Yeah. And then Liz, Big Rick, Pumpkin, Sapphire. This sounds like Club 55 down in D.C., man. What are you talking about here? It's like the day shift at Club 55.
Right.
Oh, my. Boots.
I remember Boots.
You do?
Yeah, I remember the name. I don't remember who it is. I remember Thing 2.
Thing 2. That doesn't sound attractive.
Nothing.
Right.
And Boots.
And Hottie and Serious and Smiley and Like That and Crazy and Goldie and Nibbles. A couple of other characters in this show.
So he must have gave him their name.
Oh, my God. I might have to check this out.
Right. Just watch half a season, huh?
Oh, the stream. A lot of these streamers have seen this.
We haven't seen it. They
all saw it. They all saw it. Nobody wants to admit to it, but they've saw it.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I will say this, Shizzy Flex. Yeah, you're right. Power is the best show. Have you watched Power yet?
No.
Power's good, man.
No.
You got Ghost. Like the first couple seasons with Ghost, his name.
Is that about the hip hop music scene or something?
No, that's
what was that show? Empire. Is that Empire? Okay.
Yeah, that was Empire.
Yeah, because there's now a country kind of version of Empire that's coming out with Susan Sarandon. It looks really cheesy.
Is this the one with
Trace Adkins, which is a country singer.
The real country singer's in it.
Yeah, he's a real singer. Yeah. It looks really cheesy, like a soap opera kind of cheesy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny it's funny, you talk about Empire and Rashir. Well, his name is Hakeem on Empire.
Okay.
But he's my godson.
No way.
Yes. Hakeem, Rashir was my godson, and I can remember, man, he was one of those little boys that he needed some firm male guidance in his life.
Okay.
So they would drop him off, with me over the summer. You know what I mean? For like, a couple summers straight, just to get him back on track, get him pointed in the right direction. Because he's a real high-strung guy, real high-strung. At an early age, I had to really make sure I, kept my foot in his butt, make sure that he was, chilling out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd have to come, get him and correct him. He was a good kid, a great kid, man. He was just high-strung, man. Very high-strung, man.
Wow. Now,
turned out,
how did you get into the family?
Boss lady and his mom started nursing school together.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And, after, I'm talking about for years and years ago, this is probably my first or second year in the league. Yeah, it's like my first or second year in the league.
Oh, man.
So we're talking like 97. Yeah. 98, around there, and they became real good friends, and of course, Rashir came and everything, but, he was, good kid, nice kid, sweetest kid in the world, man. But he just stayed busy. You know what I'm saying? Always into trouble. You know what I mean? He would find trouble. Like, he wasn't just going to be disobedient, but he'd find new stuff to get into every single day. You know what I mean? Every single day, he find something new to get into. But, I'm proud of him, how he grew up. I'm proud that he's on TV, started out a rapper, and I thought he was just playing around when he started doing that stuff. But, he took it serious. And from, that point on, he's made it big. He was in he played in New Edition. He played
oh yeah?
Yeah, one of the they did like a documentary on him or a show on him, and he played one of the guys from New Edition. So he's been pretty successful. Brashear is my dude.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back. We got to get into a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger last night because obviously he played his last game in front of a Pittsburgh home crowd.
Right.
And I know you were watching it.
Yes, sir.
I did not because I just the Browns are on my no watch list right now.
right.
Baker Mayfield is on the no watch list.
That's a controversy with him also. I mean, what do they do with him?
There always is a controversy.
Right.
But we'll get into all that and a whole lot more on the other side. You're listening to The Middle on a Tuesday right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Back in 3.